Hey guys, it's Seth and Paul for the Learn From Us podcast. On this episode, we talk about the thrills of socialism, Paul's one tax plan, and a bunch of other non-essential crap. No, I'm kidding. A bunch of stuff. We talk about your tax plan and people's viewpoints of it, about government stepping in and helping people like ourselves.
And how we don't feel like the economy is really 15% unemployed.
And how COVID is really affecting the economy. So join us on the Learn From Us podcast right now. Paul, this is going to be a serious topic here.
That means it's not going to be a serious topic.
It is.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm going to read you something.
Oh, boy.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
True.
But you need to know how silly you look if you post some variation of "Welcome to socialism" in quotes.
Okay.
You are not seeing socialism. What you're seeing is one of the wealthiest geographically advantaged, productive capitalist societies in the world flounder and fail at its most basic test, taking care of its people. The crisis is not about the virus. The crisis is a massive failure of our booming economy to survive even the modest challenges. It is about the market dissonance of shortages in stores, even as producers destroy unused crops and products. This crisis is about huge corporations needing an emergency bailout within days of the longest bull market in our history ending, and despite the ability to borrow with 0% interest rates.
That's not true, but go ahead.
Okay. This crisis is about corporatalized healthcare systems being unable and ill-equipped to provide basic healthcare. At the same time, they post record profits. It's about the crisis response depending on antiquated systems nobody remembers how to operate. But most of all, this crisis is a direct result of the politicization.
Yeah, go ahead.
You tried it? Yeah.
Yeah, I tried.
The politicization of every aspect of our society for the benefit of the privileged few. The vilification of education, science, media, natural rights, rural lifestyles, urban lifestyles, charity, compassion, and virtually everything else for brief political gain has gutted our society. There's a lot to unpack there. But I saw this
and thought of me.
And thought of you a bit.
So, when did the government's job become to take care of its people?
Now, I watched our last podcast.
Yeah. In
the car and driving around.
The Geo one? Because everybody loves that one, by the way.
Go back a couple podcasts. My son, who's a stock expert now, knows more than me, even though I taught him. You said this in a show a few shows ago. Like, why do candidates say, "I'll be there for you"?
Yeah.
Why do they have to be there for us? Why can't you just be there for yourself? And that is a weird concept of most people think, yeah, I vote these people into office. My taxes pay for them. They should be there for me without actually maybe saying I should just be there for myself. But where were you going with that?
Well, so let's go back a couple hundred years. What was the premise for why we started this country and this government? It wasn't for a government to be there to take care of its people.
It was the opposite.
It was to protect each other from each other.
Okay.
It was to say, listen, if you're going to wrong me, the government will step in and make sure that wrong is righted. Is that the right word, righted? That's not right. That's not correct. We have since become this pseudo-socialist government, which I'm not saying is wrong. Like, that's the thing that everybody has to understand. Like, if you're going to argue about if we haven't become socialist, then I think you have to understand what socialism really is, and it shows me how far we've gone to relying on government that we don't even view what's going on today as socialist. I'm okay. Listen, my one tax plan is socialist, right? My whole idea of saying we're going to give everybody a set income, charge a higher tax, and everybody's going to be given guarantees, that's social. That's a level of socialism. Let's not deny that, though. Public education system is literally written by Karl Marx as one of the tenets of communism.
Public education?
Public education. So you can't argue with me and say, no, it's not that. It's like it's taking care of its people. I'm not saying it's not taking care of its people. What I'm saying is taking care of the people is socialism. Let's talk about record profits. Big corporations being bailed out. Which big corporations were bailed out so far?
In the past, they've been.
We're talking about right now, though. This kind of has to do with COVID.
You're right.
That within days, it was. I don't know any big. In fact, the government actually got pissed at big corporations who use subsidiaries to apply for the PPP loan.
That's right.
And by the way, I didn't like that either. I wasn't a fan of that either.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not sit there and argue a spade being a spade just because we've understood that spades are okay now. Universal healthcare, government healthcare is still socialism. You could argue that it's better for everybody. Like you said, Bernie's argument is, hey, what I'm suggesting here is what everybody wants.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the majority of people...
Right. Are you going to write that check? That's the whole argument to ask is, I'm all in favor. That's why my one tax plan is so great. Because I'm sitting there saying, guys, overall, there's not going to be a tax increase overall, and there's going to be government spending decrease overall. I'm sorry, no government spending decrease overall. But we're just going to reallocate the money and use it more efficiently. I'm all in favor of a socialized government to a certain level. In fact, my chess coach, Matt, jokes with me and says, well, now that you're a socialist, it's the joke we have now. I'm just sitting there saying, let's be pragmatic. But to sit there and say record profits, I would like to see the data on that. Are there a lot of profits? I'm sure there are. Are they record? I don't know. Maybe they are. And do I think that people who take risk shouldn't be bailed out? Yeah, I do think they shouldn't be bailed out sometimes. I think, listen, let them fail. That's what makes this economy better. Mm-hmm. But to make it this COVID thing proves, okay, it does prove a lot of things. I said on LinkedIn yesterday.
Go ahead.
COVID shows the people who were naked under the tide. It was the tide receding, showing everybody was naked. It needs to happen. I'm glad it happened. It shows the people who weren't prepared. Seth, I'm going to brag here.
Go on.
When my brother and I did the numbers last week, the amount of cash we're sitting on right now is a record for us. We're so stoked about it. And you know what we're doing with that money?
Go on.
We're reinvesting it.
Yes.
We're going to reinvest it to grow. And that's what I think should be. Those are the people who I think should be rewarded. Not the people who operate on little margin. All of a sudden something bad happens, like a shutdown. Now, did anybody see the shutdown happening? No. But why is it some people are able to make it and some people were not? It's just, that's the way it is. And I think we should let people fail. But to say you shouldn't complain about socialism when that's when the government's job is to protect us and be there for us, the government's job has become that.
Yeah.
And that's why politicians now find themselves being reelected because they sit there and say, I'm going to make all your problems go away. As Hillary Clinton said in 2006, you vote for Democrats, you don't have to worry about your mortgage, your gas prices. I mean, it's like, come on, really? That's not going to happen. I don't think she said mortgage. That was somebody else who said it when Obama got in office in 2008. And I'm looking at going, come on, really? That's just the way it is. But to say it's not socialist, I don't think you have an understanding of what socialism really is.
Mm-hmm.
Am I okay with it? Absolutely. This one tax plan I'm so in favor of. Because I look at it saying...
Talk about it, slow down a bit, because you've said it 3 times, and for new listeners, like...
I have this thing called One Tax Plan. Go to onetaxplan.org. .org. And...
Don, look, we have to fact check our own websites.
Yeah. Well, I forgot if I got the .com or not. I don't think I got the .com. So .org. Basically, it's a way of giving a guaranteed universal basic income of $18,000 a year to every single person over the age of 18, whether you work or don't work. It has a flat tax of 40% on everybody. But when you do the math, if you make $50,000 a year, you pay $20,000 in taxes, but you get $18,000 back. Mm-hmm. So you end up paying 4% in taxes.
What taxes are gone in your plan?
Property taxes, sales taxes.
Now slow down, because I can't even grasp these.
I know.
Say them again.
Property and sales tax gone.
So when I buy a $2 Red Bull, I don't pay 12
When you buy
cents.
a $2,000 TV or computer, all you're paying is $2,000. That's it.
Property taxes are gone?
Gone.
So...
And schools still stay around.
So how, Paul?
The government will divide the money, the 40% tax up amongst everybody, amongst local, state, and federal. And I don't know. I'm just sitting there pitching the 40% tax. Maybe it's 30% federal, 7.5% state, 2.5% local. I don't know. I haven't really gotten that far into it. I just looked at total government revenues and said, okay, if we want to add $18,000 a year, cut certain things out, like all all welfare system gone, because now the $18,000 check you're getting for not even working, that's your welfare
Do
system.
welfare recipients get more than that a year? Typically,
I
with someone with
I don't
4
know.
kids?
I don't know. And frankly, I don't care. You should be able to live. If you don't want to work, you should have some incentive. We still want you to, like, hey, you want to go make more money? Great. Go make $20,000 a year. You're going to pay 40% in taxes. Your $20,000 goes to 12, but you got $18,000 from the government. You now make $30,000 earning $20,000. You actually make more money. So we still want to give people an extra incentive to still work.
Yeah.
Some would argue this gives them less incentive to work. If you want to sit at home doing nothing, more power to you. But don't come crying to me when you go, oh, how do I feed my 4 kids? You get up and you go work. Go work at Wendy's and McDonald's for $10 an hour, $9 an hour. You'll still make more money. Go be a valuable member of society. And for guys like me who have a lot, I like the idea of saying this is a flat tax. I know for every dollar I make, I'm paying 40 cents. And that's that. If I make 10 million a year, $1 million a year, 100,000 a year, or 100 million, I'm paying 40%. And I'm getting that $18,000. But when you make $1 million a year, you don't care. It's just like, okay. So when I hear these things, I go, okay, this COVID has been great and will be great. Well, actually, now stocks are over 3,000 again. Did you see that today?
I did. It's not.
It's silly.
That's a whole nother show.
It's silly.
It's not going down, Paul. It's never going to 1,500. I don't care what you say. We've said it 1,000 times for the past 18 months.
Yeah, I know.
It's not going to go down there.
Maybe.
This
is crazy.
will not push it down. We don't need to work. Enormous chains, Hertz, JCPenney's. I'm sure Macy's is on its way out.
Do you know what Ohio's unemployment rate was announced at?
Victoria's Secret is gone.
I don't think they're gone. I think they're doing a bankruptcy protection. So I think they're doing what...
They're closing 250 stores.
Correct. So they're not shutting down completely like Kmart did. They're restructuring.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like J. Crew what they're doing.
J. Crew, yeah, they're bankrupt, right?
Yeah. Lisa was floored when I told her that. I'm like, J. Crew declared off bankruptcy. What?
I know.
No more J. Crew. I'm like, no. Relax, Lisa. You'll be fine.
What were we talking about like before that? Yeah, the S&P.
Yeah, the S&P. Listen,
it's never going down. There's no reason to be.
I wish you guys
say
could see
you're
on
waiting.
video. I wish you could see on video how serious he is looking at me, just saying, "Paul, it will never go down."
Maybe I'll rephrase.
By the way, can I make a comment? I bought Love stock recently, Southwest Airlines.
Oh,
I bought it $25, thinking, okay, it's going to go down from here.
yes.
What is it right? And by the way, when I say I bought it recently, 3 weeks ago. This is just silly. This is a company that lost an airline that. What's it at right now? Today, 32.
What did you buy it?
25.
Southwest.
3 weeks ago, LUV is the ticker symbol. LUV.
32.20.
It's silly. It's gibberish. I'm pissed. I wanted to go down further so I could buy more stock.
Let's go back because our producer Don gets upset when we jump around and he has to name this episode something.
Jump around, jump up.
But you're right. It seems like you're right. The end of this long message I found online was just the vilification of education, science, media, natural rights, rural and urban lifestyles, charity, compassion.
What does that even mean?
Like the guy for Microsoft, Bill Gates, gives, and then people criticize for not giving enough.
That, yeah. Or that they're accusing him of creating the disease.
Yeah. Why him? I mean,
well, because he wants to promote his foundation, so he's going to come be the savior and be like, oh, I don't know. It's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. He talked about, so Don's saying he's one of the first people, like a few years ago, he started talking about, potential pandemics and things like that. I don't think he specifically said it'll be a coronavirus.
Yeah, so...
Listen, it's a good talking point. It's a great thing. People are probably liking it, going, what a brilliant statement. Okay, great. Awesome. I don't know what to say.
You're the guy that says stuff.
When I say that, I don't know what to say specifically to say, like, well, they're going to write that and people are going to love it and they're going to, because it sounds cool. The vilification of, okay, sounds good. And all these big corporations with their record profits. You've never looked at a financial statement in your life. I can guarantee you that right now. So don't tell me about record profits, please. Don't use some...
Well, it's not that hard to hear Walmart's record profits and Amazon's record profits. You don't have to be a scholar to see this stuff.
Well, yeah, you kind of do. Not a scholar, you have to be half-brained to open up a... But remember, Walmart makes 3%, 4% high side.
That's right.
Amazon made $10 billion last year. Everybody hates them for using the same tax code that your representatives created for them. And it's not just Republicans, guys. It's Democrats too.
Yeah.
Listen, whatever. It's just, we can't sit there and stop saying it and saying it's not socialism when it's social. It is socialism. I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
It is record profits. I'm okay with record. Why do we vilify somebody who has record profits?
Because, Paul, rich people are bad and greedy.
I know. And by the way, there are a lot of rich, bad, greedy, rich people. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Those people are the ones we shouldn't bail out when they have a problem. Oh, I'm now not making enough money. Okay, well, that was your decision. You decided to take a lot of risk. Hey, it's easy for me to say that when we have a lot of cash on hand and we have businesses that weren't really hurt that bad from this thing, but we also didn't need to keep the people on board that we kept on board while we were working. We chose to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? There's still people who think I'm a greedy asshole.
Yes. You'll be fine.
And I will survive, but let me go make my profit, but don't bail me out when things are bad. I'm okay with that. Just like I'm okay with these other companies not being bailed out. Boeing's a very interesting company for me to look at, by the way, to buy. But I just always wonder, what about the bailout? I heard Germany just bailed out Lufthansa Airlines and they took a 20% stake. That's what somebody texted me. I don't know if that's accurate or not. I'm going off what somebody texted me.
How is the... So none of these companies have been bailed out so far?
I don't think anybody's had an official bailout yet. I don't know. I haven't really paid much attention. I've been reading a lot. I've been doing a lot of stock research. In my Southwest stock...
Well, there's no way you're buying anytime soon, right?
It's hard.
Almost recovered.
Yeah, it's hard. But the good news is we at least have certain sectors that have been really beaten down hard. Airlines, retail. I'm looking at Nordstrom going, is there a plan Nordstrom here?
I'm so surprised you would look at that because...
Because why?
Because Nordstrom,
retail.
How shocked would you be if Nordstrom went bankrupt tomorrow?
I would be shocked.
Really?
Yeah, I would
How's
be
it any
shocked.
different from J. Crew?
I don't see the financials on J. Crew, but when I'm reading about Nordstrom and their liquidity and all that stuff, I would be surprised if they plus they're not as big. They only have, with Nordstrom Racks, there's only 370 stores in the entire country. And their online sales have really increased a lot over the last year. A third of their revenue last year was online sales. That's pretty impressive, don't you think? A third of their revenue last year was online sales. And it grows every year. It was 27, 30, 33. And I look at that going, who has the smallest footprint that'll be affected? And they're more about high end, and they can start shutting their stores down. They've already shut down. They've already announced they're shutting down 16 stores.
Don, can you text me the onetaxplan.org Facebook link with all of the comments on it?
Oh, people calling me socialist and
because I'd love to address some of that. I mean, so
liberal America right here. I wish everybody even watched my podcast and realized I'm not liberal America at all. I'm classic liberal.
Yeah, I mean, so tell me the elements of socialism in this one tax. Talk about
it's this bigger government and guaranteed incomes for doing nothing, right? Higher taxes, essentially, higher tax rate. It's just, I get it, but I'm not sitting there denying that there's not elements of social, it's not socialist in it, but I'm just trying to make the best. The bottom line is our government's not going away, our taxes are not going away, and our government spending is not going away. Let's be the most efficient about it. At least this gives us surpluses. Good Lord, what I give for surpluses right now.
Yeah, how much of your plan accounts for paying off the $27 trillion in debt now?
Yeah, there's $700 billion in surpluses a year.
700 billion?
Yeah, in surpluses a year. Every 10 years, it's $7 trillion. If every 10 years we have another pandemic like this, we can give half that money towards the people, half the money towards the debt. We'll be out of debt. It might take a few decades to get out of debt, but we'll get there. Might take 5 decades, but right now we're on a pace of just increasing that debt overall. Why do people think that it's not better to have less debt ever?
Less debt. Well, I've said
It's
before,
safer.
it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter to normal Joe Schmo.
I know.
Why would 27 trillion versus 21 make my life any different?
I know.
Right?
Kick the can down the road.
They don't. I mean, we've discussed before that I think a lot of people just think there's just money there. I mean, they're not this stimulus. I mean, does Trump, does any of them who's ever, I mean, do they come out and say you're actually going to be paying for this?
I don't think people can think that far ahead. People don't want to think that far ahead, especially right now. What's somebody thinking about? Well, I don't think anybody's thinking right now. Hey, do you know what the unemployment rate is in Ohio? Did I already ask this? You didn't say anything.
No, go ahead.
16.7%. Does it feel like it's 17% right now?
That's what I'm telling you. Unless, again, I don't have a full grasp on economy versus stock market, but
doesn't feel like it.
The only thing that could be worse than these last 3 months, I would feel like would be like multiple atomic bombs in major cities.
Seth, let me ask you this question.
Go on.
If 4 months ago I said to you, Seth, in the next few months, we're going to have a pandemic. It's going to shut everything down. GDP is going to drop potentially by 40% in 1 quarter. Unemployment rate is going to go nationally from 3.5% to 14%. Nevada is going to go to 28% from 3.6% unemployment to 28%. Ohio is going to go from 3.84% to 16.7%. And the stock market is only going to be down 8%. You wouldn't believe it.
I'm not believing it currently.
I know.
You don't even have to tell me what if I told you it's happening.
That's not the benefit of the whole thing. The whole point of this exercise is it's not crazy to be like, how is this possible?
It's not crazy to say, how is all this possible?
No, it's not crazy to say that because it's absolutely ridiculous. How is this all possible? It makes no sense.
You just double looped me there. You're right.
It just makes no sense. And that's where I sit there and say, if it doesn't make sense, eventually something will happen that makes it come to fruition.
How could it be worse?
It can't be worse, but it'll be worse in the sense of the government will stop. Right now, somebody on unemployment is making a pretty decent buck in unemployment.
Yeah.
You have a kid, I heard $1,100 a week.
Yes. Yes.
Here's your boy.
Thanks, Don.
Let's read some of these comments. You down with OTP? Yeah, you know me.
So your one tax plan got, wow.
How many comments? How many? 301 comments? How many likes?
There's 160 shares.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah, this one was probably our best.
160 shares? Oh, man.
Okay. I mean,
just give me a comment.
I'm trying. Has anyone noticed a mile-long food lines in many states? There's your glimpse of socialism.
Mile long? I don't think there's been mile-long food lines. Give the people a voice, and all of a sudden the lies come out, right?
I can't wait for you guys to work for me while I stay at home. How much debt money do you really need to be self-sufficient?
What?
I don't know. So the people make all this money to give it away to the useless. To give it away to the useless. Won't feel pissed off and change the system. Oh, wait, I forgot. People that create wealth are too intelligent to let this happen. Idiots that feel entitled to something for
Can I tell you
nothing
something?
deserve the
I'll
life
respond
they
to
have.
that. I'll respond to that. I brought this up to many wealthy people, and you know what they all said to me?
Go on.
Where do I sign up? They loved the plan. You know why? Wealthy people just want to know what they're going to pay. It's not a matter of this. It's not a matter of we want to pay less. It's just tell us like, okay, you're going to have 40% forever. Great, done. No property tax, no sales tax, no. Wealthy people have multiple houses. Imagine no sales tax on any of these houses, no property tax on any of these houses.
Sounds great for them.
And guess what? It's great for people who are going to get an $18,000 check to sit on their ass doing nothing if they want. I remember in college, we had an Australian graduate instructor, and she came and talked to us. She goes, you know, it's funny. I hear everybody talk about this welfare state, and you guys, we have it in Australia where if you don't even want to work, you can sit home, you'll get a check forever, not even working. I go, what? I remember thinking to myself, like, that's insane. That's what I'm promoting here. The second you turn 18, you get $18,000. So imagine college kids.
It'd be incredible.
They can make $18,000 going to college.
Who does the work if everyone has money? Honest question.
And by the way, that is a valid question.
Who does the menial jobs that we all need to make life work? I can't see anyone working at a grocery store or hardware store.
I do. Because guess what? You're going to make $10 an hour? Great. You make $20,000 a year. You pay your 40% tax. You're down to $12,000. And you get an $18,000 check. You're up to $30,000 tax free now. That's essentially, it's a tax-free $30,000. So before, you're making $10 an hour and taking home a big chunk of it. Now you're making $10 an hour and taking home $15 an hour after taxes. Why would you not want to do that?
Of course, this will work for everyone who knows how the wrong.
Is it even in English over there?
Some of them are not. Universal basic income must be for all rich and poor, so we end division and should be. Sorry, these people can't write for shit. Recipe for disaster. Socialist 101. Create dependence on the government instead of creating jobs.
Well,
and who is going to pay for this?
Well, if you watch the freaking thing and you read it.
They didn't, so address it.
We're already paying for it now. I'm not changing anything.
Well,
I'm taking all the tax revenue.
A drastic cut in military, which I was surprised.
I'm saying a drastic cut across the board.
Yeah, that's true.
Basically, all welfare state goes away. No more Social Security. No more welfare. No more Section 8 housing. None of that stuff. And people say, oh, we can't do that. You're getting an $18,000 check every year tax-free. Shut up. You're going to do it. You can sit on your ass doing nothing and you essentially make $12 an hour.
So I don't know why someone said $10,000 a year. This guy said $10,000 a year is $833 a month.
That might have been the original video. Actually, that might be right. That's probably why. The original thing, but I've changed it now. And it was also like 30 to 35% tax. Now I've made it 40% tax, but $18,000 a year check.
Ah.
What do you think is better? I think $18,000.
Where are you going with this
I don't
mic?
know, but this thing
push it back my way. This joint. Now push it straight. Now don't move it. This is our first podcast if you're joining us.
By the way, did you sign your $100 million deal with Spotify? Are you going to pay your fair share when you do?
You know, I thought about you and Don. I said, boy, if it takes 8 million subscribers on YouTube and obviously the top guests in the whole world, it's definitely something to strive for.
So it's funny. I talked to my brother recently, the new CEO of Crossroads Group. And I said to him, Mikey, come next year, if Dynasty Owner takes off and the cash flow is better, I'm going to really significantly increase our budget for guests, but get big name people.
Well, the draft is coming in next year.
Yep.
That's
for Dynasty Owner. I meant for the Learn From Us podcast.
NBA All-Star Game. I'm telling you, you got to call in a favor to Shaq and get him on the show.
Yeah, we should.
It's time, Paul. He's coming in. He will be in Cleveland.
You're right.
He'll want to stop by your house and get dinner with me. You can come along and pay for it. And so that's nice to hear.
What's nice to hear?
Yeah, I mean...
Listen, this podcast is a great podcast. I'm not just saying it. I think we have great conversations. We're fun. I'm funny.
You are funny. When you get off, when you except when you really, Don, are we airing that podcast we did last week with
It's going to Rohan today for editing.
Yeah.
We did a podcast with Paul, which was filled with expletives, filled with direct-to-camera FUs.
You're a hero. You're a hero.
Paul, don't do it.
Well, the best part was I completely bamboozled you.
Yes.
Entering in the podcast. You're like, we're not talking about this. I said, fine, we won't talk about it. Podcast starts. Paul, I have a topic. Actually, I have a topic. Oh, yeah, what's your topic? Boom. And that's just like, oh my God, we just discussed we're not going to do this. I'm like, we're doing it. By the way, look at Rogan's podcast. He talks tons of different conversations.
Absolutely.
Lots of different topics.
Yes.
Politics, science, living, or whatever it is, entertainment.
What is it about him? He's self-proclaimed that he's not really knowledgeable and that he's a dummy. He's just saying dumb shit that he has no idea what he's talking about, which is sort of my shtick too. I'm not afraid to say it. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about, and I try and slow you down when I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't know what I'm talking about all the time.
But there's something incredible about him. I don't actually ever think it's him. It's just, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about that show. I mean, he has done it for 10 years. So, like I was saying before, is if you just don't give up on something. What, Donnie? 11 years. So if you just don't give up.
Well, that's what happened When you called me the one day, you're like, man, our podcast is good. It's like, I was just like, yeah, if we just keep providing content that's good, that's why I sat there and said, I want to get some good guests. Imagine we had Shaq on. Imagine we had some business exec or something like that. Imagine we were able to get that stuff. Okay, let's write a check at some point.
If you called Shaquille O'Neal right now,
I don't have his number.
what would he? How much would it cost to get him to sit here with us?
I don't know. But if he's in town,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd just talk to his assistant, Tony. I'd be like, Tony. He'd be like, Pete, what's up, man?
Let him stay in your house
I'd be like, you can use my house.
when you come in for the All-Star game.
They'll probably want him downtown, but yeah.
That's 20 minutes.
Listen, he was supposed to stay at my house for the playoffs one time, and then they at the last second, Tony called me and was like, hey, we had to cancel. TNT is making him stay downtown in the hotel.
We got to get LeBron on the show.
We should get Maverick Carter on the show. Maverick Carter used to live in my neighborhood. He still owns the house there, but since he moved to L.A., he's done a lot of great stuff for LeBron and the crew.
And what if LeBron pulls up all the old footage of you saying he sucks?
When did I say that?
You have to watch the Learn From Us podcast on YouTube. Subscribe below, by the way. Subscribe, smash the like button, and turn on the notifications so you get our bullshit sent directly to your feed.
Yeah.
I follow like Facebook groups like LeBron, Team LeBron, and LeBron James, blah blah blah.
Remember Cavs for Mavs after LeBron left and they went to the finals, and there was a Facebook group called Cavs for Mavs, and I was a member of it.
Oh yeah,
I was so bitter.
Yes.
And then then he came back.
I was in tears of happiness when the Mavs beat LeBron year one.
1,000%.
But regardless, LeBron is incredible. I love everything about him. I watch everything about him. He's the best thing ever.
I love everything about him basketball-wise, yes.
And off the court, too.
I could deal with a few of the things off the court.
It's tough life, what he's doing. I mean,
I would hate it.
Yeah.
Imagine being that famous. I was watching this video today on Instagram when I was getting ready in the morning with Kobe's retirement ceremony. And like him just being mobbed. Like imagine living that life. Like you literally can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You're just mobbed.
Is that what they wanted, or?
See, I don't know if it's what they want. Like people sit there and say, "Hey, listen, you signed up for this." Well, you didn't sign up for that specifically. You signed up to be a basketball player that came with this, and you just put up with it. And Kobe seems like he does a great job with it. Did a great job with it. Man. So should I name drop again?
Go on.
Several years ago, I had dinner with Scottie Pippen and his wife.
Why can't Scotty come on?
I'm not gonna. I don't think. I mean, I'm sure he remembers me, but I don't think. Either way, we're gonna buy a sports team together.
You're not that important in his Rolodex.
Probably not. And we went to dinner, and we were sitting there waiting for his wife, and it was interesting to see how many people just like were like, "Oh, cool! Look, there's Scottie Pippen," but nobody came up to him.
Yeah.
We went to a private room where there was 4 old ladies. And the one old lady looked at him. She goes, "Are you a basketball player?" He's like, I used to be." And she said, "My granddaughter has a picture of you on her wall." And he's just like, "Okay." Like, he didn't say that, but I know in his head he's probably like, she probably doesn't. And if she is, it's probably some other black guy. So you're just getting me. You're being racist, basically. And then when we left, we're leaving the restaurant. Some guy comes up and goes like, "Scotty, I'm from Chicago." Scotty's like, "What's up, Chicago?" And to give him a high five. And we got in the car and left. But this is Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan's right-hand guy. And it wasn't like he was mobbed, but Kobe. Imagine LeBron. I don't know. I can imagine, like, you can't leave your house. Right? How would you leave your house?
Without protection?
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be some people that want to get these people.
I don't know. It's weird, man.
Yeah, interesting.
We have a great podcast. I know it sounds political at times, but we got to embrace it. Should we change the name?
No, I love it now.
Do you?
Don and I revamped the Instagram page, LFR. Follow us at
LFU
Podcast, at LFU Podcast. We got new content. You see I was sharing yesterday, Don? I fired that bitch up and started sharing, hashtagging bullshit.
I would
You're going to knock that Coke over, speaking of right-hand man.
It's 4 inches away.
You've done it before. Go ahead, Paul.
Oh, we need what's it called?
Coasters.
We need coasters. We have a great new table here, guys.
But go on, I cut you off.
So we were in Atlanta this weekend.
I am shocked you're flying.
I'm not.
You don't care anymore about COVID.
We wore the masks and shit.
How was the plane? Next to each other, spaced
So
out?
Lisa and I, on the first flight, sat next to each other.
Well, you two, yes. But
Yeah, but everybody else was
what about
spaced
other people?
out.
Spaced out?
Yeah. The second flight was coming back was on Southwest.
Uh-huh.
And there was no middle for everybody. Like everybody sat, it was an empty middle. And Lisa and I sat across the aisle from each other.
How nice.
So we went and looked at a house. We looked at 7 houses
You looked at 7 houses this
on
weekend?
Lake Lanier in Georgia to use as a vacation rental to add to our portfolio.
Now, you were saying, Don, we're pivoting. Don tries to name these episodes, but we have to just talk about this stuff. The shit happens.
Yeah.
Um,
This is a conversation.
So we had a podcast where we're talking about a third house in Mexico.
Yep.
Then you got upset. They started implementing some taxes. Here, Don.
Don's getting blown up by a side piece.
And implementing some taxes, which ultimately forced you to give up on the deal,
Didn't force me to, but I sat there and said, yeah, I'm going to invest my money elsewhere.
which might be this house in Georgia.
Well, Dominican, Costa Rica, and this house in Georgia. The great thing about the house in Georgia is we can finance it. As opposed to these other locations, we have to pay cash.
Now, in my mind, I don't think Georgia and exotic in the same sentence.
It's not. But it's a beautiful home. You saw the picture right before you got in the air.
One photo, which I'm foaming at the mouth at. It's so incredible.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And, my dad's an avid golfer. My brother's an avid golfer.
Yes.
And and Atlanta's got a lot of golf courses, and it's an easy flight, direct flight from Canton, Akron, Canton
Oh,
to Atlanta, Cleveland, Akron to Atlanta. So
how long's the flight?
an hour and 20.
That's a lot better
Hour
than
and 30.
5 hours in Mexico
6
through
hours plus travel.
Houston, Guadalajara.
Yeah, I think that was a big reason for us. So we sat there and said, listen, but there's a difference. Our goal is to break even on this house. Our goal is not to make a lot of money because it's the U.S., it's higher costs.
How many bedrooms and all that?
It's 5, but I think we're gonna make one of them, make a big room, a 6th bedroom, another master suite. It's got 4 levels, 7,500 square feet. I'm making an offer today. I'm going in low because of COVID.
So do you want to talk about the numbers or?
They're asking $1,525,000.
Mm-hmm.
They bought it for $1,600,000 in 2008. So for everybody who thinks that buying property is like, oh, your real estate's going to go up 12 years later, and they're asking less money than they bought it for in 2008.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you think you're offering 1.2? Is that low?
I don't know what I'm offering.
Oh, not yet.
Yeah.
Well, you're putting in an offer today.
I think it's a reasonable offer based on where the economy is. If they can wait it out, I think they'll get a higher offer in a year or 2. But if they want to get rid of it, then I'm probably going to, because I'm going to go put in $300,000 in improvements and furniture. And then I have to buy a boat.
Pontoon or?
I'm actually there's a beautiful pontoon boat it's kind of pricey, but it's beautiful.
I know in those pontoons you got to overbuy it, get a more engine.
Yeah.
Than
The one I want is like 300 horsepower.
Yes, 300. That's right.
Yeah, it's big.
Beth's dad has a pontoon and didn't get one that big, and he's very sad because now he's trying to ski out the back of it.
Oh, you can't ski. How many horsepower do you do?
Not 300. He's like 300 would be like his oh my God, I'd love to. It's like a $10,000 upgrade onto his boat, maybe more to get a 300. I was like, oh, maybe the kids and I can chip in on and get Grandpa a new engine. It's like, no, we can't actually at the moment, but I can see it in his face. He's a little sad about the boat.
Where does he hold it?
Let me think about this. They boat. Forget it. This is not a podcast topic.
Okay.
They boat at a lake down in Ohio, but
Well,
so-
we're in Ohio right now.
yeah, but it's not. I mean, who cares? Just a boat. It's a pontoon boat that doesn't go very fast. So, how high will you go on this?
I don't know. Well, I do know how high we'll go, but I'm not going to mention that on air.
But you would adjust a bit. How bad do you want it? Because you're so patient of a buyer.
Yeah, I want it in the sense of, how bad do I want it? My dad likes it a lot. My brother likes it a lot. Our company likes it a lot for what we can do for getting more renters in there. But I also realize the economy is where it's at. I'm like, I have a hard time believing many people are buying luxury vacation homes right now. What do you think? Right?
It seems like in one weekend, no one cared about COVID anymore. Things are back to normal. People stopped wearing masks everywhere I went.
No, that's not true. I go
That's what I'm seeing.
I go to the grocery store and I'm still so at the grocery store when I go, I'm like one of 10% who aren't wearing a mask.
10%?
Yeah, 10%.
I'm with Don. I've been seeing 50-50.
Wow.
And so all of a sudden, which is hilarious because the numbers are highest of all time. So the care factor went down to the lowest it's been in months.
It blows my mind because the Pope prayed on March 18th and said, I'm going to ask God to get rid of COVID.
He did that?
Yeah, March 18th. And it got worse.
How
do you figure that one?
They're testing us. I know you wanted to say that to Zion. Like, yeah, he's just testing me. A guest of ours last week, a guy who was born with a disease. He has no lower end, no legs, but he's made an amazing
life for himself
out of it.
He's a wrestler.
And, he said God was testing him, and I know Paul was holding his tongue saying, Jesus, God, like, you know, that's a hell of a test. I mean, you know, but
whatever helps. Yeah, so either way, we're looking at this thing, and you know, us, we're long-term buyers, so I plan on having this house for many decades to come, and it's beautiful, and that's that. We'll see how it goes. Same like Mexico. We won't plan on having it for many decades to come. We're very fortunate in that sense.
Yeah, if you haven't gone to luxuryzlo.com to look at Paul's Mexico homes. Paul, I find myself in my kitchen cutting a mango.
Yeah. Rahman loves mangoes, but he was talking about mangoes this weekend.
And I'm starting to not envision a life where I actually live in the United States. If I could ever drum up enough money with side hustles and businesses.
You would live outside the United States?
I don't know. If my kids, I got 2 kids. I got one that I just feel like he's going to be leaving. I got one of those kids that I just feel, one's like a super mama's boy and the other one's just probably going to be gone. I can tell he's 6, just turned 7. I can just tell Hank is just going to be like, see you guys, I'm just going to go live some other life. I don't know why I feel that way. It's
really?
Just little things, you know. He doesn't want to cuddle as much, doesn't want tucked in very long, does his own thing. I can just feel like Gio's like mama's boy still, but no, I'm like, why would I don't know, if I ever had enough money where I could live in Mexico for 6 months out of the year or something.
Oh, okay.
Not
I thought you meant
forever.
permanently.
No, not permanently. I don't think so. I don't have a big family on my end. My wife does, but they've all moved around. They've some of them have declared that. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure some of you out there.
I do declare.
We just watched that episode on The Office. I do declare. Yeah, like, I guess I'm always saddened when you have family members that just say, you know what, I'm leaving everything. Like, you're here at my home where we all grew up, but
Bye.
I'm gone. Yeah, I'm just gone. You know, you're going to see me once a year. Good luck. And I don't know if it's like, I can't wrap my mind around that a bit. I moved 2 hours away and ended up coming home.
Yeah.
But like, so we have a couple siblings that they're just going to be gone. And they've already sort of declared that. So I don't know. I mean, like,
is your sister moving back anytime soon or no?
I wouldn't imagine. No. I mean, she's in the hospital framework.
Yeah.
But I mean, she hasn't made a point about it. So, but no, Mexico. Like, I guess my point is there are multiple points throughout many days in my life where I'm just like, I kind of just wish I was in Mexico right now.
Listen, when we were in Atlanta, we were there. It was me, Lisa, Rahman, and we were just like, man, when do we get to go back to Mexico? It's like the best. Rahman was supposed to go into June. I don't know if he's going to be able to go anymore.
It's just heaven.
It is heaven.
It's heaven. I don't know. It's unlike any vacation that you could possibly come up with. Just, especially I think for mothers.
Because they don't have to do anything.
We go on vacation, and basically it's like Beth's mom doing all motherly things in a non-familiar environment.
Yeah.
Laundry, cooking, shopping.
Yep.
We argue about the meals and how to cook them, right? Yeah. Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But with Mexico, it's just like take your sweaty clothes off and they're folded on your bed hours later and queue up whatever the hell you want to eat and it's made. It's incredible.
It is the best. Unfortunately, it won't be the same experience in our Lake Lanier house if we get it.
Yeah. You have to make your own shit and do all your own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on the show. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. We're going to get a little more active with this because Paul doesn't like talking to his phone, but I don't mind it. And we're not going to get 8 million fans on YouTube by not reaching out more. So we're going to do that. Learn from us. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.